Well, good morning, my fine gardening friends. And an absolutely beautiful morning here is in equally beautiful Nova Scotia. 7 o'clock in the morning. I thought I'd start early because black fly season now, and they don't normally come out until about 8 o'clock. They're quite lazy fellas, which is good for me because I can do a little bit of gardening before work. And but I thought I would make a start on one of my sort of biggish projects for the year. So if any of you guys saw the May tour that I recently did around the garden, will have seen that I've got this project here on the go, just about to start. And as you can see, there's a big sort of fir tree behind me, big massive thing it is. And last autumn I raised the canopy up, as you can see there. Raised it up, cut all the lower branches away. You know, it dominates this area here, and I don't particularly like it, but I don't want to chop it down. I'm not particularly into chopping down trees, even though I have. But raised the canopy up, and what I've done there now is I've opened it all up there, and there's a potential for a new flower bed. So even though it's actually behind, it's actually underneath this tree here, it gets a lot of sun. That side there is south facing, so the sun streams down all around there all day. So why not put a flower bed there? But there's a slope down here now. From here onwards, it slopes down. So what I thought I'd do is I'd combine a couple of different, can't think of the saying now, what is it? Birds into one bush, stones into one rock. I'd combine a couple of different things. So down the other end of my garden, I have a load of rocks that were dug up when I dug the foundations for my decking. Big massive rocks, and I thought, why, got nothing else to do with them, why don't I make a little retaining wall just on the lower part of the hill and then fill it up with earth. And I've got a nice big pile of earth behind me there, as you can see. Fill it up with earth, and I've got a nice level flower bed there. I can cut back all of the overgrowth, the undergrowth, and all of the stuff that's become overgrown there. Cover it with a bit of cardboard, put earth on top of that, and I've got a nice new flower bed. What do you reckon? Better get on with it then, don't I? So as you can see, first job is to get those stones, which are all the way down the other end of the garden and quite big rocks. I'm not going to be able to get them in a wheelbarrow. I think it'd break them, so I'm going to have to roll them all the way down there. So nice bit of sweat first thing in the morning, and here come the first black fly. Okay, so that is the rocks brought over. As you can see, there's some right beauties here. That reminds me of when I used to do the field gun crew. And for those of you who don't know what that is, when I was in the Royal Navy, it was a competition. As you can see, some video of us in training there. And when we were training before that, when we were actually training to sort of get on to the actual field gun crew itself, and it was called eliminations. During the eliminations, every week we'd have something called a Hoyle test, and Hoyle is a Welsh word. I think it's H-Y-W-L, and it means grit and determination. Excuse me waving around, the black flies have decided to come out now. It means grit and determination. And in this hoil test, they used to beast you for an hour and a half, and we do all sorts of stupid things like, you know, rolling big massive boulders and telegraph poles and carrying them all over the place. And at the end of that hoil test, they'd line you up, and the trainers would have a chat with themselves, and then they'd bin or get rid of. If your name got called out, you were off on the bus or the train back to your establishment. And if your name wasn't called out, obviously you sighed a big sigh of relief, nursed your wounds, and got ready for the next week of hideousness, culminating in the hoil test, and obviously culminating in getting on the team or not getting on the team. And fortunately, I got onto A crew and managed to run at Earl's Court in front of the Queen and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic it was. But the difference was I was 20 odd then, and now I'm 54. And while I've still got the hoil, I think I've still got the grit and determination. I'm not as fit as I was, and obviously only a few months ago, just having the radiation treatment has taken it out of me a bit. So that was a bit of a hoil test, I think. But we're here, and I've only left one down there. That was a bit too big for me, and I can't be bothered to get that one. I'll use that down that end. I think I've got enough here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a bit of clearing up there. So this area here, as you can see, is all pretty overgrown. There are some old stones here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim all this back, cut back the thick growth like these roses, the Rosa rugosa, I think it is, that's come up everywhere, gets really annoying. I'm going to trim all that back, sort of bring all the stones up so that they're nice and neat, and then I think I'm going to do another layer of stones, or maybe even two, to bring it up, you know, to about that height, and then I'll be covering it with cardboard, and then I'm going to fill it with earth. So I'll get on with the strimming first. Okay, so the black fly definitely out in force now, although they seem to have taken a bit of lunchtime time off for the minute, but I'm keeping this net hat on because they're a right pain. But I have basically cleared all of the undergrowth that was there, and as you can see, I've also unearthed the rocks, and there was actually, when I dug them out, they were quite a bit bigger than I expected them to be, which is good, which is a bonus. And so now I've dug them out these holes, I'm going to fill those holes in, and the next thing I'm going to do is build the rocks back in, double them up, and start building the big rocks in. Now, I actually unearthed another big massive rock, as you can see there, so that's a bonus. So I'm going to just start building the wall most of the way around. I'm going to leave a gap in there so that I can put the wheelbarrow in with the compost, etc. Yeah, so that's it. So that's it for the minute. I'm going to move on to building the wall next. But you're going to have to wait for that, because I think I'm going to keep this video to about 10 minutes long. I know that people don't have a lot of time, and obviously the longer your video becomes, the longer your video gets, the less people are going to sort of watch it, etc. So I'm going to try and keep these to like 10-minute bits, and if it takes me 2 or 3 videos to show you the full Monty, then so be it. But I shall be carrying on despite the black fly. Beautiful sunny day here in beautiful Nova Scotia. Time to get grafted.